tonight. We're gonna talk about some. Then we're gonna start with the NBA, and then work ourselves wrestling and football. Should be that's basically what we're gonna talk about today. Those three things. But anyways, man, the game that I mainly watched today was the Warriors versus the Thunder versus Warriors. It was not that fun of a game, to be honest, man. 125, 126, 103. The freaking Thunder win. It was a blowout, man. The Thunder improved to 11-1 on the season. Holy free holies. They're doing great. Let's look at the stat sheets here. Um, freaking Shea Gilgeous Alexander led the way with 28 points. Chet Holmgren had 23 with 11 rebounds. But yeah, man, dominating win for the freaking Thunder tonight. Jimmy Butler had 12 points. Steph Curry had only 11 points. Jonathan Clement got 13. Nothing really impressive by the Golden State Warriors tonight. They were not that good tonight. I don't know what the hell happened to them. The fact that their highest score was Curry with Clemenga with 13 is terrible. That was a flat out terrible game by the Golden State Warriors, if you ask me. If the Golden State Warriors want to contend, they gotta play better than this. This is supposed to be like a measuring stick game. You're facing the world champions, and you lose by like freaking 25 points. This tells me the Golden State Warriors are not ready to contend for a championship right now at all, man, at all. They look like they were playing like freaking I don't know, like a terrible team, like freaking I don't know, Charlotte or something. How bad this was. Terrible game tonight by the Warriors, man. I'm so sorry, man. It was horrendous. I was not impressed at all by the Golden State Warriors tonight. Horrendous game by them. Like I said, Steph Curry 11, Clemenga 13, Jimmy Butler 12. Flat out terrible, man. But anyways, that was the Raptors beat the Nets 119-109. The Knicks beat the Grizzlies 133-120. Sixers, that was a fun game, honestly. 103-100 versus the Celtics. And the Jazz 152-128, high scoring game there. The Jazz beat the Pacers 122-108. The Nuggets beat the Kings, and that was the action tonight in basketball, ladies and gentlemen. There are maybe some little chicken nuggets we can talk about basketball. So there are some injuries, I think. Both in Philadelphia, Joel Embiid and Paul George supposedly have been evaluated and are both very close to coming back here pretty soon. George Paul, I believe, has not even played a game this season, but he's expected to make his debut sometime here in the future. So finally, the Sixers can be finally healthy, man. I don't know how many games Joel Embiid and Paul George have played together, but man, they need to play some games together, man. It's unbelievable, man. But hopefully this season they can finally stay healthy and see if they can contend in that East, man. Honestly, we'll see what the fudge happens. I think LeBron James is also starting to practice, but obviously he's in the G League practicing over there. I don't know exactly when he will be clear. Probably in the next few weeks. We'll see about that. I think that let's see. I think there's some other stuff. I think Jalen Green. So he has been dealing with a knee injury most of the season. He finally came back about a week ago, and he got hurt again. And they're saying he's gonna be out at least for possibly until like 3 to 5 weeks, I believe they're saying. So Jalen Green for the Phoenix Suns will be out for a while. So, man, a lot of injuries in the National Basketball Association, but it looks like most of this news is people are starting to ramp up, and they should be back here pretty soon. And like I said, Jalen Green is the one that's still going to be out for a few more weeks. Everybody else that's hurt, Joel Embiid, LeBron James, Paul George, they're all starting to ramp up and should be back soon. One final one. I believe what's going on here, because this was the WWE effect when they were on local TV, right? They were averaging about, what was it, 2-3 million views on Friday Night SmackDown. It is now happening with with basketball. Basketball, the ratings have coming out, I believe, for the first 3 weeks, and the ratings are about 91% up from last season, and nothing has really changed. It's still the same thing as last year, to be honest. Unless everybody all of a sudden is interested in like the Thunder or maybe Wembanyama, right? Because he's an international player. I think it's most likely, a lot of people believe it's probably because of the fact that there are games now available on local TV on NBC, and that is why the ratings have pretty much jumped all the way to as far as 90%. Something to keep an eye on, but pretty impressive. I'm pretty sure the NBA is pretty satisfied with that. But it is that's the effect of being on local TV. That you just have the local channels, and there's a lot of people out there that they don't have cable, obviously. So all of a sudden, man, your ratings spike up 90%. Congratulations to the NBA for that. I'm sure, obviously, they paid all that money to make the transformation to NBC. So it's paying off so far as the ratings are up 90%. But nothing necessarily because of the product. It's just because of the simple fact you are now on local TV instead of cable. But anyways, I think that's about it for basketball. I think we can go to wrestling real quick, and then we'll finish off with NFL. NFL, not much going on tonight. We're just gonna talk about the coaches, with Brian Daboll and where the New York Giants can go next. Where does Brian Daboll have a chance to be a head coach in any other places, or is gonna have to be an assistant coach for a little bit? So stay tuned. That will be the finish of the show. But I'm gonna talk some wrestling right now, and then the end will be NFL. The tail end of the show will be some NFL tonight. All right. So let's see here. So basically, let me think. I don't think there's really not much news with the wrestling. I think I just want to talk about kind of what happened last night on Monday Night Raw, which was a pretty good show last night on Monday Night Raw. But let me just think here. I don't think there's the only thing I think that I can think of a news is that Drew McIntyre has been suspended by the WWE in storyline because he is filming a movie. I'm not sure how long this movie is going to take. I believe also Batista is in the movie as well. So it must be pretty high profile movie if Batista's in it, because he is one of the top actors from the WWE. So I don't know how long this is going to take. There was still some hope that this could, McIntyre can maybe face Cody Rhodes once again at Survivor Series for the WWE Championship and finally win it. But now I'm not sure. Survivor Series is in about 3 weeks, and they're just starting filming the movie. So now it's looking like that's not going to happen, most likely. And McIntyre's probably not going to be available maybe until next year for January for the Royal Rumble. But we'll see. But that is what's going on with McIntyre, that he is going to film a movie with Batista. But other than that, I don't think there's much news going on right now. It's basically, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. So Monday Night Raw starts off with Triple H, man. He kind of did a shoot promo. Everybody's been complaining lately about the storylines, and the TV ratings are down. I think at times this year, both Raw and SmackDown have only gotten 900,000 views. The ticket sales are down. I think SmackDown is only averaging like 3,000 to 5,000 fans lately, where they were about a year ago, they were averaging up to 15,000 fans. Now, the way they're presenting Raw and then the way they present SmackDown, they're telling you themselves this is the A show, right? You see the presentation on Raw compared to SmackDown. Raw feels special. SmackDown just feels like a normal show, let's be honest. But yeah, man, pretty much saying, that he's like, I'm the only one that really has a good feeling for this because I've been a wrestler. I'm a businessman. I'm a booker. So it's basically saying, trust me, I know what the hell I'm doing, basically. Pretty much, whatever. And then John Cena comes out, and he thanks all the fans, obviously, for all the years back in his hometown of Boston. Then it lets to Dominic coming out. He trash talks his John Cena, leads to an Intercontinental Championship match. Freaking John Cena out of nowhere. We all thought this was going to maybe be the match of Survivor Series. They end up doing it on a Monday Night Raw in his hometown, and John Cena becomes, for the first time in his career, the Intercontinental Champion. So that was the only championship he had never won. So now John Cena has been held every championship in WWE. Congratulations to John Cena. My guess is he's gonna hold on to this title until his final match on December 13. So now the final match, it really means, because not only now you get to face John Cena for his final match, but also there's a high chance you're going to get a shot at that Intercontinental Champion. So all of a sudden that John Cena tournament is a lot more important now. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff I think was going on. Let me see here. Who else? We had we're starting to plan the seeds for War Games. We have CM Punk come out. He calls out Logan Paul. Logan Paul comes out. He says basically, basically, if you can't join them, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's why he said he joined the Vision. He said the hardest I ever got hit in my life was my Floyd Mayweather. But after last week, it's been by Bronson Reed tsunami bombing me. So he said my ribs are hurting like a motherfucker. And that's why he decided to join them. They started attacking CM Punk. Both Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes come out to save them. And so right now it looks like we have our backstage. Adam Pearce comes up to them, Cody and Jay and Punk. And then William Regal says, War Games. And so I think it's 5-on-5. So they're going to both need to add more people. But right now it looks like it's The Vision, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker versus CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes. I think maybe they're gonna add John Cena and Roman Reigns, and I don't know who the hell you add on The Vision. I really don't. But my feeling is that's gonna finish out and complete the babyface team, John Cena and Roman Reigns. But we'll see what happens. Nikki Bella turns heel on Stephanie Vaquer. So now I guess they're going to start a feud, maybe as soon as Survivor Series, right? So Stephanie Vaquer versus maybe Nikki Bella for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. We have the qualifying matches. Was kind of disappointed. Both of them, I thought they were kind of short. Sheamus beats Shinsuke Nakamura, and Rusev beats Damian Priest. Damian Priest was selling the eye injury he has with the storyline going on with Aleister Black. So I don't know. I thought the matches were kind of short, to be honest, but it is what it is. The main event was the freaking the woman tag team matches. Charlotte and Alexa putting their tag titles up against the Kabuki Warriors, and they're about to win. And then freaking Last Legend and Nia Jax interfere, cost them the championships. The Kabuki Warriors win. The Kabuki Warriors are the new women's tag team champions. After the match, everything, all hell breaks loose. It's a 4-on-2 situation. The Kabuki Warriors, Last Legend, and Nikki, what's her name? Nia Jax are attacking Charlotte and Alexa. But then all the baby faces women start coming out. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and basically it's War Games, same thing. I think Rhea Ripley grabbed the microphone and said War Games. So I don't know exactly. Was that 3-on-3 as well, or I think so they're saying they're gonna maybe add Becky Lynch to the heel team and maybe freaking AJ Lee to the babyface team. I'm not sure. I couldn't count exactly, but that was pretty much the end of the show. But yeah, man, I couldn't count exactly. I think there was like maybe 3 or 4 women, so they might need to add at least one more. So we'll see. But definitely this show felt special. The start with John Cena and then winning the Intercontinental Championship, and then planning both the seats, right, for both the men and the women War Games match. So yeah, man. It was a good show, man. It was a good show. Probably we're not like I had a feeling it's gonna happen, and they also announced that. Like I said, I don't think Cody Rhodes and CM Punk are gonna defend their championships for the rest of the year. I think next time they're gonna defend their championships is probably the Royal Rumble, honestly. So that's what sucks too, right? That especially with McIntyre filming a movie. I don't know. It looks like that's the direction they're heading right now. And then watch it be Logan Paul versus CM Punk at Royal Rumble. for the WWE Championship. But it looks like it's gonna be the War Games match, and then I think the John Cena tournament. The John Cena final show, December 13th, Saturday night's main event. We're not gonna see anything there. That's gonna be focused on John Cena the whole night. They're not gonna do much storyline wise with anybody else that night. So, like I said, you're probably not gonna see either another WWE Championship match or a World Heavyweight Championship match. Maybe until next year, to be honest, man. I think they might be done defending the world, the maybe the woman, maybe what's her name? Jade Cargill and Stephanie Vaquer defenders. But I think both CM Punk and Cody are maybe done for the year defending their titles. But we'll see what happens. But this was a really fun show, man. It really was. It was a fun show. The surprise with John Cena winning the Intercontinental Championship was a fun show, man. That was an exciting, fun show, man. Like I said, the only thing that I was a little bit disappointed on was I thought we were gonna get a classic, especially with Shinsuke Nakamura and Sheamus, and it was kind of short out of nowhere. Sheamus just bicycle kicked them, bro kicked them, and it was over. Whatever. Anyways, it was a really fun show though. But anyways, some NFL news real quick. So Brian Dable was fired yesterday by the New York Football Giants. So a lot of people are wondering, well, what's next for the Giants and what's next for Coach Brian Dable, right? So Brian Dable, man, the one you hear right now is Miami, right? Miami. I don't know though. I don't know. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa, does he get to draft another quarterback? I think it would be more sense that if what's his name? That if Sean McDermott gets fired, he goes there. Because at least he's familiar with Josh Allen. So I think if anything, that would be the first. If I was Brian Dable, I'm not gonna say anything, right? He's gonna go wherever he's hired. But maybe go there, right? And at least you're familiar with them. So if they were to fire Sean McDermott, I think that would be his first choice. The Bills. They're even saying they could hire him as an assistant or like as an advisor if they continue to struggle this week. I think they play Tampa Bay this week, and people were saying, hey, if they continue, remember Green Bay did that last year with Robert Saleh, right? They hired him as an advisor for the defense. And then San Francisco ended up hiring him as a defensive coordinator. But they were saying that if this Bills team continues to struggle, don't be surprised if they don't even wait until the season is finished. Right now, here in the next few weeks, days, they hire Brian Dable as an advisor to help Joe Brady in this offense. And then maybe eventually, Josh Allen might even say, hey, yeah, might as well try to hire Brian Dable as a head coach. But we don't know how good of a head coach Brian Dable is, right? We don't know. He's only had one chance, and it wasn't really good with the Giants. But he does seem to be a really good offensive-minded coach. So maybe with the Bills, it could work out. If I was Brian Dable and I get offered the Bills job, you for sure take it. First, it's got to be available, right? We got to see what happens with Sean McDermott. But if that job becomes available in come like January, you for sure take that job. If they offer it to you, 100% take the Bills job if you're Brian Dable and it becomes available. And then as far as New York goes, I think I'm hearing two names mainly. What's his name? The guy from Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin, because he was Jackson Dart went to Ole Miss, so Lane Kiffin coached him for like 3-4 years in Ole Miss, so that would make a lot of sense. And then obviously, not obviously, but they're saying maybe trade like a first round pick for Mike Tomlin. At this point, it might be better for Mike Tomlin to go to the Giants low key. Right? You look like you have a franchise quarterback in Jackson Dart. The offensive line ain't too bad, especially with Andrew Thomas. They drafted the last few years good. They drafted that one guy from Penn State, right? They have Justin Tubudu, whatever the hell his name is. So they have they have good pass rushers. Obviously, they have the running back with Scabadoo from Arizona State, and then they have from Neighbors, the receiver. So if they can all get healthy, can Mike Tom? I think Mike Tomlin could at least get him into the wild card next year, couldn't he? I would think so. If all those players I just named stay healthy, I don't see why Mike. If Mike Tomlin was making chicken shit out of chicken salad with fucking guys like Justin Fields, a washed up Russell Wilson, and Kenny Pickett, don't you think he could do a lot more with these young talented players like Jackson Dart and Scabadoo and Neighbors? And like I said, the offensive line seems to be pretty good. Like you have some good pass rushers. So if I was Mike Tomlin, I would take it. I don't even know if he can do anything about it. If the Giants and Pittsburgh agree on a trade, he probably has no option but to go. But pretty interesting there. Pretty interesting there that might be a possibility about them trading a first round pick to Pittsburgh for Mike Tomlin. And then, like I said, the other one because he coached them in college, Lane Kiffin. So those are probably the biggest two names you're hearing for the Giants, Lane Kiffin and Mike Tomlin. I think Lane Kiffin makes more sense. I think Mike Tomlin could be more of a pie in the sky. You know how Pittsburgh is, how loyal they are with their coaches. I think the last three coaches that have been there at least for 15 years. They're pretty loyal with their coaches. But it might be time to move on. I know Rooney, the owner, said he was getting frustrated with the last few years. They haven't been winning much. I think the last time they won a playoff game was like 2017. So maybe for a first round pick, and maybe if they can maybe draft a quarterback in the draft, because it's very highly that Rodgers is going to retire after this season. So they might really need that draft pick and draft. I would probably, you get your pick as well, and you get the Giants pick. You draft the quarterback, and then maybe you draft a freaking offensive lineman, right? Maybe that's what I would do if I was Pittsburgh. Right off the bat in the first round, you would get to draft maybe a franchise quarterback and a freaking offensive lineman. But we'll see what happens. It does kind of make sense for both sides. For Pittsburgh, you get Mike Tomlin out of there, you get a draft pick. Rodgers retires, you bring in a new quarterback, you bring in a first round offensive lineman, you start fresh. I don't know who the hell you hire as a coach. You have to figure that out. And then if you're the Giants, I think you're in good hands, probably since the Tom Coughlin era, because like I said, if Tomlin is winning 7 to 9 games and with Kenny Pickett and Justin Fields and all those guys, washed up Russell Wilson, at least past his prime Aaron Rodgers, what do you think he's gonna do with that young talent he has in the Giants? So it might make sense. We'll see, man. We'll see. But that's pretty much it today. I think I went over everything. There's not much going on in baseball. So I think I kind of went over everything. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we're gonna call it a night. So yeah, man. Have a good night, everybody. The fuck is happening? Did it freeze? I think it froze. Oh man, I gotta. Shit, I hit. I'm trying not to curse. I'm trying to keep it more professional. I think that it's good. There's like a 60-second. Is it 90-second for? Oh my gosh, I don't know why. I think it's because when you press the show's over, ladies and gentlemen. I have I think I pressed the thing double time, and now it says I have to wait 90 seconds for it to. I don't know what the hell happened. There's like it locked up on me. I'm so apologize. But yeah, that's pretty much the show tonight. Comment in the comments, guys. Whatever you have to comment. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm liking doing these shows. It saves me time, honestly. Instead of being here for like an hour and a half like a pendejo, I'm only here for about 15, 25 minutes. It's a lot easier for me. But yeah, man. Gonna get off here once this thing unlocks. I think it should unlock here in the next 30 seconds. And we'll be back tomorrow with another podcast. You already know, man. We putting in the work on this podcast, man. You already know, man. Low-key, this is fun. I kind of memorized everything off my head, too. The first day I took notes. Now I'm just memorizing everything. Low-key. But yeah, it looks like this thing is about 10 more seconds, and then we can get out of here. I don't know what the hell I pressed. But anyways, it looks like it would have. All right, guys, have a good night. We will be back. Have a good night. Have a good night. Have a good night.